Thursday, the 13th of August, 2026. I am starting to heavily suspect that what we are witnessing on our screens right now is nothing but an elaborate, brilliantly constructed illusion. On the surface, it seems like Sonny is gearing up for yet another brutal turf war, preparing to fight his way out of the criminal underworld with guns blazing. However, this hush-hush rumor suggests that Sonny is intentionally manufacturing a massive crisis to blindside his enemies and his allies alike. What if Sonny is orchestrating his own spectacular downfall just to vanish into thin air? Hi, chances are, he is planning to quietly hand over the ultimate control of his empire to someone completely unexpected, someone who has been hiding in the shadows all along. We have watched Sonny command these dangerous streets for decades, bearing the heavy psychological toll of the mob life, so the idea of him faking a catastrophic crisis to permanently step down is a drastic storyline shift that will leave everyone absolutely breathless. He is tired, ladies, and a tired king is a dangerous one because he has nothing left to lose and everything to gain by walking away. But the truth might be way more complicated when we look at the people supposedly helping him navigate this treacherous exit. Enter Rick. Rick is currently playing the role of the loyal confidant, standing faithfully by Sonny during this supposed crisis, nodding and offering his legal expertise. However, behind-the-scenes whispers indicate that Rick is not actually helping Sonny secure a peaceful, safe exit from the syndicate. Instead, Rick might be seizing this exact moment of vulnerability to orchestrate a hostile and devastating takeover. What if Rick is the one secretly feeding the flames of this fake crisis, ensuring that when Sonny finally steps away, there is no empire left for anyone else but him? Rick has spent a lifetime living in the shadow of his brother's immense power, brewing a bitter resentment that has never truly faded. The sheer betrayal would be catastrophic, and I am terrified that Sonny, in his exhaustion and desire for peace, is walking blindly into a trap set by his own flesh and blood. Rick's supportive smiles might just be the mask of a man holding a very sharp knife. Speaking of traps, we desperately need to talk about Porsche and the suffocating tension building inside her home. There is a deep, unsettling feeling creeping into the narrative that Porsche is harboring a monumental secret, a decision so heavy and profound that it could shatter her entire family dynamic. We recently saw Isaiah deliver what appeared to be fantastic news, a glimmer of hope that could seemingly pull Curtis out of his current legal nightmare. But what if that good news is actually a poisoned apple disguised as a miracle? It seems like the information Isaiah brought is not a lifeline at all, but rather the final, inescapable nail in the coffin. High chances are, this sudden revelation will make Portia realize that Curtis is being pushed into an even larger, more complex legal snare constructed by people far more powerful than them. Portia is a fierce protector of her family, a mother and a wife who will go to the ends of the earth for the people she loves. She might soon find herself standing at an impossible, heartbreaking crossroads. What if she is forced to choose between shielding Curtis from immediate ruin and exposing a game-changing secret that would flip the entire court case upside down? The behind-the-scenes whispers suggest that Portia knows something about the tampering of evidence or a hidden witness that could blow the lid off the prosecutor's strategy. If she speaks up, she risks tearing down the very foundation of her husband's defense. But if she stays silent, she might be watching Curtis walk straight into a permanent prison sentence. The agony of this choice is going to push Portia to her absolute breaking point. This brings us to Jordan and her highly suspicious, incredibly tense interactions with a certain Cassadine. Jordan recently had a very intense conversation with Valentine, walking away with what she firmly believed was crucial, case-breaking intelligence regarding Sidwell. But the truth might be way more complicated. Valentine is a master manipulator, a man who plays three-dimensional chess while everyone else in the police department is playing checkers. What if Jordan completely misunderstood the true meaning behind Valentine's carefully chosen words? This unconfirmed leak hints that the highly classified information about Sidwell is nothing more than a brilliantly crafted decoy designed to waste the department's time and resources. Valentine might be intentionally directing Jordan's focus onto Sidwell to create a massive, citywide distraction. While Jordan and the authorities are busy chasing a ghost through the alleys, another unseen player could be quietly manipulating the entire legal case from behind the scenes, ensuring that the real culprit remains completely untouched and hidden in plain sight. It seems like Jordan is being played like a fiddle, her dedication to the badge being weaponized against her by a man who knows exactly which buttons to push. If Jordan does not wake up and see through the smoke and mirrors, she is going to inadvertently help a monster walk free. And who could be desperate enough to manipulate the truth on such a grand scale? My eyes are firmly locked on Drew, and the erratic, terrifying behavior he has been exhibiting lately. Drew has been walking around with a dark, suffocating cloud over his head, boldly declaring to anyone who will listen that he needs to eliminate a specific threat. Naturally, most people assume his crosshairs are locked onto Sonny or Jason, given their complicated, violent history. but it seems like Drew's true target is far more personal, far more intimate, and far more dangerous to his own survival. What if Drew is actually hunting down the one person who holds the power to expose his deepest, most destructive secret? This is not a calculated, cold blooded mission of mob revenge. This is a frantic, desperate scramble to erase evidence before his carefully constructed, redeemed life crumbles into dust. High chances are, Drew is operating on pure panic and adrenaline, willing to cross any moral or ethical line to ensure his darkest deeds never see the light of day. The psychological deterioration of Drew is a drastic storyline shift. He is no longer the honorable man trying to do the right thing. He is a cornered animal, and a cornered animal will bite anyone who gets too close. The unconfirmed leak suggests that Drew is preparing to silence this witness permanently, setting the stage for a tragedy that will shake the town to its very core. The absolute tragedy of Drew's mounting desperation is that the threat might be coming from inside his own family circle. Let us talk about Little Scout, a child who has been caught in the crossfire of adult mistakes for far too long. On the surface, Scout has been acting out, seemingly devastated and rebellious due to her painful separation from Danny, but behind the scenes whispers suggest there is a much heavier, far more sinister burden weighing on this young girl's shoulders. What if Scout is carrying a massive, devastating secret that she does not fully understand? Children hear things they are not supposed to hear, and they see things they are not supposed to see when the adults think they are safely tucked away in bed. I suspect that during one of her vulnerable, emotional moments, Scout might confide in Rocco. She could accidentally reveal a forbidden conversation she overheard between the adults, perhaps a frantic argument in the middle of the night. The truth might be way more complicated than a simple childhood grievance about missing her brother. This innocent, tearful confession from Scout could be the exact puzzle piece Rocco needs to unlock a horrifying truth involving Drew and Willow. Rocco has already seen too much darkness for a boy his age, and hearing Scout's secret might force him to realize that the adults in their lives are capable of unspeakable deception. The innocence of these children is about to be shattered by the sins of their parents. Now, brace yourselves, ladies, because we have finally reached the epicenter of this impending explosion, Willow. This is where the most drastic storyline shift is about to occur, and it is going to be a spectacle. Willow has been playing the ultimate victim for months, perfecting the art of the trembling lip and the tear-filled eyes. She is now loudly claiming that Jacinda maliciously drugged her drink, putting her and the children in grave, unforgivable danger. Willow even boasts that she has the undeniable, concrete proof to back up her terrifying accusations. She genuinely believes this fabricated narrative will give her the ultimate leverage in the bitter, ongoing custody battle, painting her as the protective mother and Jacinda as a reckless monster. But it seems like this grand theatrical accusation is going to backfire in the most spectacular and humiliating way possible. When Michael begins to dig into Willow's claims, driven by his need to protect his family, he is not going to find the concrete evidence she promised. Instead, high chances are, Michael will discover that Willow's so-called proof is full of massive holes, manipulated timestamps, and glaring inconsistencies. What if Willow deliberately distorted the timeline and the facts to paint herself as the helpless martyr? She might have orchestrated the entire drugging scenario herself, a desperate, unhinged move to guarantee her victory in court. Even worse, this unconfirmed leak suggests that Jacinda is not the passive, defenseless victim that Willow assumed she was. Jacinda is cunning, observant, and fiercely protective of her own interests. What if Jacinda possesses her own undeniable counter-evidence, perhaps a hidden security camera footage or a recorded phone call proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Willow is the one manipulating the entire narrative? When Michael sees this contradictory evidence, the rose-colored glasses he has worn for so long will finally violently shatter. He will be forced to question every single word that has ever come out of Willow's mouth. The saintly facade she has worn for so long will begin to peel away, revealing a desperate, calculating woman who is willing to risk everything, even her own children's safety, to maintain her control. Michael's realization will be a slow, agonizing process as he pieces together the depth of Willow's deception. The woman he thought was the moral compass of his life is about to be exposed as a master manipulator, and the fallout will destroy their relationship forever. When you step back and look at the entire canvas of these intertwining stories, it becomes terrifyingly clear that all of these separate threads are speeding toward a single, catastrophic collision. We are not just watching Sonny fight for his territory, or Willow battle for custody, or Drew hunt a rival. We are watching a town on the brink of absolute, irreversible devastation. Sonny is preparing to vanish into the night, completely unaware that Rick is sharpening a knife to plunge into his back the moment he turns around. Drew is spiraling into madness, desperately trying to burn the evidence of his sins before the authorities close in. Jordan and Portia are slowly waking up to the terrifying reality that the legal system is being used as a weapon against them by a hidden puppet master. Scout is holding a ticking time bomb of a secret that is ready to detonate in Rocco's hands, shattering the innocence of the next generation. And Michael is standing on the precipice of realizing that the woman he trusted most is nothing but a beautiful lie. The people who believe they are holding all the cards are about to realize they are playing a losing game, and the house always wins. If you think your favorite characters are going to walk away from this week unscathed, you are gravely mistaken. The person who appears to be pulling all the strings is about to have them wrapped tightly around their own neck. Keep your eyes wide open, ladies, because the ultimate betrayal is coming, and absolutely no one is safe.